This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
Chapter 2. Stories of Landscapers, Past, Present, and Future. Tony Bass. A man should never neglect his family for business. Walt Disney. A huge crowd of people gathered at one of the green industry trade shows and educational training events. Landscapers, nurserymen, turfgrass professionals, arborists, and grounds maintenance companies were there to learn how to improve their businesses. They were walking the trade show floor to check out the latest equipment, new plant introductions, and business supplies to make their jobs better. They were also there to attend a few classes, obtain their pesticide applicators, continuing education credits, and learn the latest in industry research. Future landscape professionals, horticulture students, were there also. Hundreds of these young people were walking the trade show floor. They moved in similarly attired small groups, identifying with their schools by what color they all wore. They were from high schools, technical schools, and state universities. I was scheduled to give a short seminar to a group of these eager learners about careers in the green industry. I was standing outside of the Super Lawn Trucks display booth and watching how the attendees responded to our display. I observed how my team would engage the people as they walked by and then entice them to enter the booth and admire products. And I watched the attendees' body language during the walking tour around the Super Lawn Trucks models on display. Observe, think, and learn. As I stood there, a familiar face appeared in the aisle with a group of students in tow. It was Jeff, a horticulture instructor at one of the technical colleges. He approached with an outstretched hand and a big smile, greeting me with an enthusiastic handshake. He stepped sideways and opened up his stance so his group of students would be included. Class, this is the man who I've told you about in my class. When I met Tony, he was wearing shorts, his knees were stained with red dirt, and I was helping to answer his horticultural questions back when I was the extension agent. And look at him today. He made a fortune with his landscaping business in a small community. He's dressed sharp, providing seminars and promoting his truck business. You can learn a lot from Mr. Bass. This man is a good example of why you've made a good choice to study horticulture and landscaping. I was a little surprised and humbled by his enthusiastic introduction. Of course, I smiled. Then I took the opportunity to address the small group. Jeff helped me in the early days of my business, and he's helping you learn the technical basics of landscaping today. If you will attend my seminar later today, I will share exactly what you have to do to be a business success with the technical skills you are now learning. There are incredible opportunities in the landscape industry. I'm glad that each of you is here. Jeff said, "We will be there, Tony. It's great to see you again. I always tell your story to my students." Then, just as quickly, they moved on. Another familiar face appeared in the aisle. It was Johnny, yet another horticulture instructor at one of the state's technical colleges. Johnny smiled as he approached, but there were no students in tow. Johnny stuck out his hand and said, "Tony, good to see you again. How are you?" I replied, "Super. Thanks for asking. Are you still teaching?" "Oh, yes, I'm still teaching. I have a couple of more years before I can retire. But enrollment is down, and with all the cuts in the state's education budget, I just hope the program continues until I can retire. We only had a dozen students last semester, and with all the challenges in the economy, I don't think there are a lot of jobs for them anyway." "Really? Tell me more." "Tony, you know how competitive this industry is. It's hard to make money in landscaping. In fact, I tell my students they might have a better chance of making money if they get into computers or something like that. Between the government regulations, the illegal immigrant labor problems, cutthroat pricing, and this economic slowdown, it's tough to make it in the landscape business. After all, that's why I closed my company and got the teaching job a few years ago." Wow, that is a very interesting story. I hope you and your students will attend my seminar later today. I didn't bring any students. I just came by to get a few pesticide applicators credits to keep my license current and walk the trade show floor. I'll be leaving for home soon.